So I touched a little bit on school shootings here and there, but this last school shooting seems to have people even more revved up. It amazes me how fast these so-called these anti-gun protests grow. You see, you had the shooting in Nashville, and then quickly they rolled out these protesters, and now they're at the Tennessee Capitol just like that, with signs, all kind of stuff. This stuff is orchestrated. There's something sinister going on with these mass shootings that nobody's talking about. There's no way that these are grassroots protests. There's no way that those are protests from like two people just gather up and say, "Hey, listen, we're so tired of these gun violence in our schools, these mass shootings. Everybody meet right here." That's not the way it works. These things are orchestrated to push an agenda, like I've been telling everybody every time. It never fails. But these people are calling for gun confiscation, and the president is calling for gun bans and all this stuff. But what about when the 50s and 60s, when people were able to order guns straight to their houses? There was no FFLs. There was no background checks. You see a gun inside of a magazine, you order it, come to your house. How come there weren't any mass shooters back then? How come they answer that question for me? How come there weren't any mass shootings? Why is there mass shootings now that you got all the background checks and stuff, but back then when you had no background checks, there were no mass shootings? They don't want to talk about that. And they keep saying ban assault weapons. They've been saying this for years. Every time a mass shooting happens with an assault weapon, so called, I'm just calling them assault weapons for the sake of the video. I don't call them assault weapons, they're rifles. Okay? Semi-automatic rifles. But every time one of these agents of destruction, they go into these places, these malls, these shopping centers, these supermarkets, these stores. Every time they go in there and shoot people with these guns, they always talk about, they blame the gun. They go talk about banned assault weapons. But these same people also have pistols on them. They never talk about banning the pistols. It's always banned the assault weapons. But here's my question: if most of the shootings weren't happening with rifles, they were happening with pistols, would you be talking about ban the pistols too, or just ban the pistols and forget all about the rifles? Suppose all of the rifles and the pistols were banned tomorrow. What about bolt actions? What about bolt action rifles? What about pump action shotguns? What about semi-automatic shotguns? What if the shooters started using those? Would you want those to go? It's never going to end with these people. It's not about the assault weapon. They don't care about it being an assault weapon. They use the assault weapon as a backdoor way to say they want to ban everything. That's pretty much what they're saying, because they know every type of gun can kill people. Pistols can mow down 30 people. Rifles can mow down and kill 30 people. Semi-automatic and pump shotguns can kill many people. Uh, you can have a 22 rifle can kill many people. A bolt action hunting rifle can kill many people. It doesn't matter what gun it is. They all kill. So what they're doing is they're using the way a rifle looks, because it's a big black scary rifle. They're gonna run with that and stick to that. And they send in their little agents. And they always make sure the agents got one of those guns. It's always gonna be an AR-15. Every fucking shooting, they have an AR-15. That should tell you everything you need to know. That's the giveaway that all of these things are orchestrated. It's to push the AR-15 ban, which will lead to banning the pistols, and then lead to banning all the other stuff. That's all that's gonna happen, man. It's all that's gonna happen. It's just a backdoor, a coded way for them to attack guns. They latch on to the rifle, to the assault weapon, and they use that. And they okay, we got the ARs out the way, we got the AKs banned. Now let's go for the handguns. Okay, we got the handguns banned. Now let's go for the shotguns, because they know you can ban all of the rifles you want. You can ban them from the stores. It's not gonna, then you still gonna have handguns and shotguns you can buy. Oh, no, 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 we can't have that either. Let's ban those too. And then all of those are gonna come next. But one thing that I'll never understand, that I ask these people, and they never give me a straight answer. When I ask them this, they always resort to like personal attacks, or they start trying to like direct the narrative somewhere else because they can't answer that. When they say ban all guns, okay, we all know that means ban all guns from the stores, meaning we can't go to a store and get a gun out of a gun shop anymore. That would pretty much get rid of gun shops, or that would stop civilians from getting the guns. Only police can probably go into a gun store, get a gun. The regular civilians of America wouldn't be able to get a gun anymore that way. No more background checks, no more nothing. We just can't own guns anymore, like in a lot of other countries. Cool. Say that happened tomorrow. What happens? What about all of the millions of other guns that's already out there, that's in circulation in the black market and in the private market, that's still in circulation? There's millions of guns that's out there. What happens if a mass shooter decides to get his hands on one of those? He can definitely do that. And they make sure in the media that they always make it known that these shooters buy these guns legally. They always stick that in there. They bought these guns legally. First of all, we don't even know if that's true. We don't even know if they bought them legally or not. They just telling everybody that they bought them legally because it looks good for their argument to ban guns. We don't know if they got those guns legally. We don't know where they came from. They could tell you anything. We don't know where those guns came from. They could have gave them these dudes these guns for all we know to do these shootings. You know, they make it seem like okay, they were bought legally, so that means legal people, legal gun owners are dangerous. That's the argument these dudes are making. But at the same time, you ban them, people just gonna get them illegally. They're everywhere. They're everywhere, or what you want to call illegal. I don't want to get into that. But there's still millions of guns that not only mass shooters, but good people could go get guns from other places too. If a mass shooter can't get it from a store, if he's planning on doing something like that, even if he's a legal person, he decides to snap. He like, okay, well, I can't go to the store no more. Okay, cool. They're gonna make it their fucking business to go get a gun. Oh, it's gonna be harder to get it off the street. Oh, really? Well, tell that to all of the criminals that's running around in all these cities right now, how hard it is to get a gun off the streets. Then you come back to me and talk. So your little fantasy of banning guns ain't gonna do a goddamn thing. It's not gonna stop the mass shootings. It's not going to stop the regular shootings and crime that's going on around the country. It's not gonna stop any of that because people know where to go to get the guns. The people, the mass shooters that these people that the news media is telling us are legal gun owners. First of all, I'm gonna say it again. We don't know if that's true or not. We don't know if they're actually buying those guns out the store. Let's say that they are. That's a certain element of a criminal that decided that they was going to do this stuff and they thought it was easier to just get the gun out of the store. That's all it is. Because they was used to buying guns before they pulled these shooters. So they like, okay, well, I'm gonna crash out. Let me just go buy these last guns or use the guns I already been bought to go ahead and crash out with. The criminal element, the people in the streets out there shooting each other, or the people out there that sell drugs or whatever you want to call it. They they know how to use how to steal guns out of people's houses. They break in their house and steal guns. There's even video of people running their cars through gun store windows and stealing guns. So there's different ways that these people get their hands on guns. And then you do have some of them get guns from legal gun traffickers, and they get it that way too. But that's them. They decided to just not stay law abiding and do that, and now they became criminals themselves. It's still not going to change the fact that there's millions and millions of guns already out there on the streets that mass shooters could get their hands on, regular criminals get their hands on, and good people gonna get their hands on. You just gonna create a market, underground market for guns. That's all. It's already an underground market for guns. They just gonna make it even bigger now. Every time the government decides to pass a law to ban something, it never works. All that happens is people just take it underground. Oh well, they do that. There's gonna be stiffer laws against them. They don't care about the laws. That's why they call fucking criminals. That's why mass shooters do what they do. They don't give a damn about being caught. These people that push for these kind of laws live in a fantasy. They gotta get out of their bubble, dude. And it's funny though, because these same people that don't like guns, would guess what? They call a cop, and guess what a cop got? A gun. I'll catch you guys later. Long live the Second Amendment.